Here we are, man. Spitting with Spitter on a special Tuesday night. We gotta get it in where we can fit it in with the legend Cap Cee. Let me pay some bills and get them out of the way, and we're gonna get this show on the road. For
Yep.
all your vaping needs, man, go to Lehigh Vapor, man. They're on 822 Nazareth Pike. Best vaping company in the business. I use them for all my vaping essentials. Go see them. Tell them TJ sent you. They'll take care of you. If you like CBD and if you're in that line, you want some CBD products, go to Mom and Pop CBD shop located at 312 Town Center Boulevard in Easton. They have 4 other locations as well. You can reach out to them, tell them TJ sent you. And he's not even a sponsor, but I just want to shout out my guy Eli at Famous Tattoo Works, man. Go get some ink done. That's my guy. Go see Eli, tell him TJ sent you. And now we are here with the legend Cap Cee. Round 3. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, bro. It's always a pleasure talking with you, especially when it comes to the culture and the one and only hip hop culture that we live and breathe. So
for sure, man. This is all encompassing. One of my guys last week just said, you know how you said, yo, we live this. This is an everyday, one way or another. Hip hop has encompassed my entire life.
Yeah. And no matter what you do, like, you know, if you're in this culture for life, like it's from the way you talk to the way you walk, to the way you stand, to the way you, you know, you do things, the way you look at things, the way you even interpret shit, like everything is, you know, what you wear, anything. It's like, it's all hip hop, you know what I mean? And it's just, you know, and if you're a true head and you recognize real when people see that too. So they know where it comes from. So
for sure. Shout out to my guy Nick Ecker for the effing awesome snapback, keeping all this luxurious hair down.
Will you ever cut it? Will you ever cut it?
I don't think so, bro.
It's gonna grow out.
I've only been growing it a year. I only started growing it when COVID started. I couldn't get a haircut. My guy was shut down for a little bit, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna let it grow." And now, at 40 years old, most people don't have their hairlines in check, let alone some luxurious locks. And here we are.
Oh man, yeah, that hair is out there, bro. But that's good though. You're right. At 40, some people's hairlines are a little messed up. So you get to have
some hairlines are real Jermaine Dupri-ish. You know what I
mean? Yo, I had to do real sneak attack shit just to get my haircut. I remember the first haircut I got, and it was sometime around like I think it was June. Because I couldn't handle it, yo. I could not handle the hair, man. I was like, oh my God. I never had my hair this thick since like I was in grade school. I can't do this no more. You know, I was like, I hit up people on Facebook and I was like, what up, man? On the DL, you got to cut my hair. They're like, come through.
Yo, lifesavers for real, because it got to like 2 months in and like it started like really growing. And I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do? And then, you know, like, it's like wildfire. Like, every day my shit get longer, pause.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
Yeah, it was getting crazy. It was getting crazy.
Prince Shango says, some ginger dreads coming. You know, Prince Shango, I've had enough of you for one night already. He also said, can we get a TJ and Cap Cee freestyle?
Oh, my God. Uh-oh.
Why? Why? For what?
It's funny, man. I still get asked to free, and I still do it. I do it.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. But it's just like, absolutely. You know, you have to.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because some people think like that just because we haven't either rhymed in a bit or we haven't done anything with it, they think that like the skill is gone. No, like I don't think so. The skill is there. It's just not so out there like other people do it. You know what I mean? But trust me.
I am still very confident in my freestyle abilities and my pen.
Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah, I've been writing 16s once in a while here and there. So, you know what I mean?
I got a whole notebook full of them waiting for somebody to jump off the ledge and piss me off enough.
Just because I DJ doesn't mean I dropped the pen. No, the pen is still fresh, still ready to go. So
I can hear the Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff comment coming from Shango already. B Jock City chiming in. Ben, what up?
What up? What up? Yes, sir.
So tonight we're gonna end. We've talked hip hop for the last 2 shows.
Yes.
But now we are going to get to our 25 favorite MCs. Not 25 greatest of all time. That's a different list. Our 25 current favorite MCs that we listen to.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
How's your list?
My list is all over the place.
Mine too.
Because I start thinking about who I like. Then I start thinking about, okay, but I like this crew. Then I hit you up. I just hit you up 2 hours ago being like, so is this MCs only? Or can I even talk some artists? Like, or is it like groups? Or is it?
I got some groups too.
Exactly. So that's kind of
like. I got
like
some groups. I got some honorable mentions.
Yeah. I mean, the list started growing and it started going everywhere from there on out. So
I was writing my list last night and I'm like, man, 25 is just not enough.
No, it's not enough. There's a lot. There's a lot more. Trust me. I went over 25. I think I'm probably around 35.
Yeah. I'm probably at 35 myself. But right now, let's get into it. Who's your number one?
So my number one was De La Soul. Immediately off the bat. So
that's who started it for you.
And that started it for me. They were the ones who started it for me completely.
Okay.
And then, so who was your number one?
Joe Budden.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to know, and this is coming from me. I know there's people out there who swear about that dude. And now that you mentioned him, please make me understand the phenomenon of Joe Budden.
There's a couple things. He's got, like, if you dig, he's got some really good storytelling tracks.
Okay.
He's got some bar you to death tracks. And what solidified him for me as my favorite of all time is the Mood Music series. And then I had the opportunity to go sit down with him at one of his shows.
Okay.
And he's wired just like me. And that's pretty much what it is. It's like the identifiable, relatable factor.
Okay. Okay. I feel you.
So, Alan chiming in. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening.
James said his first album was fire. That's another Jersey. James is another Jersey kid. I'm just letting you know.
I don't know what it is about Joe Budden and me. I will not take away from his Mood Music series. I wouldn't take away from it at all.
Right.
I think for me, my thing with him is just that well, I'll be real with you. Once I saw Love and Hip Hop, and from there on out, like
that's why I never tuned in. I didn't want anything to blemish where I held him.
And trust me, if you're a real like fan of his, I think you kind of fell apart once you saw him on that, because even me having a respect for him, the respect was gone after that show, and it was just based on the fact like he just did a lot of suspect things on that show where I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what this. I don't know if this is supposed to help your career or if this is the railroading it, or I don't know what we're trying to go here. And
let me tell you a little something about people that are wired like me. I will sabotage and create chaos in the most beautiful moments in my life.
Okay.
It's a good thing that I've found myself and I've worked on myself for the last decade to avoid that. You know?
Well, so, he was a mess. He was a crazy mess. And
for sure.
But not even that, I always tell people this. What makes me laugh was his first scene. And I remember it to this day. It was the first episode of Love and Hip Hop, like the very first Love and Hip Hop episode. And what made
got him hooked on buttons since the late 90s. I'm just looking at these comments chiming in, not to cut you off.
No, it's all good. So what made me laugh was that he comes out with like one daisy flower looking like Common
with the cutoff jean vest.
Cut out jean vest.
Chill.
And I was like, yo, what is this dude doing? Like, where's... And then it just was like this.
I'm so glad that there was no Instagram and social media in my Zubaz and Z Cavarici days.
Hey, but we dressed the part in those times, which is fine.
Facts.
But,
real fast, before we go any farther, I just wanted to shout out my cousin Todd, who landed a head role as the head coach of Phillipsburg High School boys basketball team. Major salute to you, little bro. I'm proud of you.
That's what's up. Nice.
Number 2, who do you got?
I got Big Daddy Kane.
I'm not mad at that.
Kane is ridiculous.
You know, whenever a young kid asks me about Big Daddy Kane, I always refer to the freestyle where he drops the mic and shakes it off and picks it up and destroys it. Are you familiar?
No. What's that from?
Oh, it's on. I'm gonna send you the clip. It's fire.
Okay,
it's fire.
I mean, look at the craziness of Big Daddy Kane. Number one, I mean, if you question any MC across the board, who was their inspiration, they will all name Kane. They will all name Kane, every one of them.
He's in that sentence somewhere.
Yeah, Biggie attests to Kane. Like Biggie was all about Kane. I mean, even Clark Kent, was it Clark Kent? No, it was even Mr. C, who was DJ, even said it was like a rougher Big Daddy Kane, like just the flow, everything. Kane is like Kane was on top. And then what to me it shows that Kane is so everlasting was that video of him in Russia performing in the middle of a b-boy battle.
Yes.
And that whole crowd, I mean, Russian kids only, were going nuts.
It was almost like a pin drop, and then it just erupted.
Yeah. So that just shows you the power of Big Daddy Kane and his, even when COVID happened, he did a free concert on Instagram. And I mean, he killed it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. Like he was just going nuts. So you got to understand, Kane is like, to be in this industry for this many years and still have that prowess and that showmanship from when he started when he was 20 years old till now. I mean, that just lets you know how ill he is. So Kane is
fact. My number 2 is the Notorious B.I.G.
Wow. Okay.
And as a kid, I think I was 13 years old, and 2 of my OGs at the time, Charles Cardi, Lefty, and my homie Yummy, start calling me Biggie.
All right.
I had no idea who Biggie was at the time. Boom. Oh, this fat dude is spitting crazy. I can spit crazy. And he's pulling girls. Shit.
Yo.
Shit.
Biggie did it for us big dudes, hands down.
him, Heavy D, Fat Joe. There's a couple of them that put on for us.
But let me tell you something. Biggie. I mean, Fat Joe was out for a minute. So was Heavy D. But nobody did it like Biggie with the ladies when it came to Biggie.
Stay Coogee down to the socks.
I mean, yo, you got Big Black and Big Black and Ugly and his other, you know what I mean? Come on, that whole song right there. One More Chance remix. I mean, he's got one questionable line that I will never repeat. But I think every artist. You look. I know what song you're talking about, and I know the line. I know. We're not doing that today, Cap. I'm not here to slander Biggie today. There's a lot of questionable lines in some rappers back in the day, especially on some battle shit. So, oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh goodness.
There'd be a lot of pause.
A lot of pauses, kids. A lot of hey yos. Who's your number 3?
Yo, my number 3, I'll be real with you. Mos Def.
I fuck with Mos Def. Why is he your number 3?
Because here's the craziness about Mos Def. I love the fact that what is this? People talk about how he bested Big L on the track they did off Big L's album.
Talking about Biggie.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Mos Def. First of all, I listened to his album today.
Okay.
Thanks, James. Thanks for that. I listened to his album today, Black on Both Sides, which amazing album from the beginning to end. And
I had to put my head down for a minute.
Like that dude, wow. Like when you hear that album, you really are like, what was dope about that album, it came at a pivotal time where we had no idea where music was really going, where hip hop was going. Right. That was the shiny suit era. Mm-hmm. That was all the bling bling era. That's when everybody straight up that route. And a lot of people were like, yo, what happened to the skills? What happened to that part? And that was the whole ruckus. That was like the beginning of the ruckus era, which us main dudes who stuck to the lyrics when that dropped, when Black Star dropped and all that. I mean, it was just like, oh my Lord, like this is ridiculous. But that album itself, I was listening to it today in my car and all day long, and I was just like, this is probably, to me, so well put together, such an amazing album. And Mos Def throughout the years, regardless of what he did, I love the second album. I loved it. People criticize that album. I think it was an amazing album. His third album was all right. Fourth album was amazing again. And then obviously the whole, and then you can't even forget about Black Star. You can't forget about Black Star and what Black Star did.
I rocked the first Black Star album. I rocked that whole shit when I'm in the gym.
Yeah. That's an amazing album from through and through. And you just can't. That Mos Def was so lyrical. I loved who he was because he was so funny. Like it was, and I met him a couple of times. I've seen him perform a couple of times. A great dude through and through. Talib also. I got to give a big shout out to Talib. He's on my list also. But just the way they just came off and the way he just does everything. And then he's so, he's an all around, artist. I mean, he also acts. He does poetry slams when poetry slams were in at that time.
That was huge.
Yeah. So he did a lot. Mos Def definitely up there. So I definitely put him on my 3.
My number 3 is Method Man.
Wow. Okay.
Method Man was in that era in the late 90s when I fell in love with Wu-Tang. Method Man was the standout for me. And I had Takao on repeat for a whole summer. You know what I mean? Cassette tape. I wasn't skipping tracks. Let's be clear.
I'll be real with you, and I'm going to be real right now with everybody. I love Wu-Tang, but to me, it took me a minute to really grow with them. Method Man was an album that had to grow on me, to be honest with you. Yeah. I liked it, but it was too dirty. Like, it was too... Like, that album literally sounded like they made that in a basement and went straight to, like, cassette.
Like, yeah, for real.
So
like they hit the pause and record button and ran with it.
Basically. And it was just, like, way too dirty and grimy. I think, and that's kind of what... I think it's when Raekwon dropped, the Purple Tape.
Purple Tape. Yeah.
When, like, they really came out, like, very clear and concise, and it was all like very polished and formatted, but beautifully done well. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, even Jizza, Liquid Swords, which came out before that, was a great album, but you can still see how
you hear that sound.
Dirty it was. Yeah. So I think, and then, from there on out, they transcended from there. But But nah, I'll give you Method Man. Method Man is always one of the best performers you'll ever see, hands down.
I've seen him a handful of times, man. He goes nuts during his performances.
Did you see him when he came to Crocodile Rock?
I did.
Yeah, I opened him for him. I was the DJ that day, and yeah, he destroyed.
He was walking. The crowd held up their hand.
Yes,
and he was walking on the crowd, bro. This shit was wild.
Yep, damn right he did, and that was great. That was one of the best performances I've ever seen, hands down. It was right in our own backyard. That's what's up. That is.
Who's your number 4 player?
Whew. Number 4, Redman.
Meth and Red, back to back. I like it.
Redman is ridiculous. To find out that Def Jam was about to go downhill if it wasn't for Redman is great to hear. Redman was so. I mean, I don't know. He was just such a breath of fresh air for me when he dropped. Because I loved What the Album, great album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person who says there is a dark side. Is like I'm gonna start controversy right now. I'm that dude. Ready? Oh, look at your face about to go nuts. I'm one of the dudes who says that I love There Is a Dark Side better than Muddy Waters. Oh, he's about to shut off the screen, man. He's about to shut it off.
I had to sip my water for that one, like it was tea.
Yo, I'm gonna be all right. So let's be honest. I'm gonna be real with you. I love Muddy Waters. Don't get it twisted. Amazing album. Amazing album. And yes, it is the album that everybody says is his best work ever.
Sure, because it is. But go ahead.
But to me, There Is a Dark Side is so. I think it was so ahead of its time when it dropped that it stuck with me.
Okay.
Because
I can respect that.
Because the thing with Muddy Waters is, I think it dropped in what, 94, 95?
95.
95? So that album sounded like that era. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was just like, but it was real dope.
Right.
Like it's one of the top albums of that era, of that year, of that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
With Muddy Waters, that dropped in 93, but it was so advanced.
Right.
And he even said, like, he was so, like, he was experimenting with tons of shit at that time, and he was all over the place. But sonically and lyrically, that album was way ahead of its time. And especially with him messing around with the funk samples and flipping them in a crazy space age kind of way. That's why, to me, that album resonates more.
That's a respectable take. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
You didn't jump off the ledge completely.
Trust me. I've had heated debates with tons of people about that. So
yeah.
What's your number 4?
Nas.
Okay.
Nas. Illmatic speaks for itself, right? Yeah. But for me, when It Was Written came out, again, my teenage years, The Message and I Ruled the World, and it just spoke to me so much that two and a half decades later, I'm still listening to it the same way.
Okay.
And
that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because that's...
And like everybody talks shit about Nas's beat selection. I get it. I understand. I do. I understand, and you're not wrong. But at the same time, it's something about somebody that can just... It's the painting of a vivid picture. It's the meticulous wordsmith. It's the perfect delivery for the beat that you're on. You know what I mean? It's that.
Here's a good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Illmatic fan.
Okay.
Huge. I love Illmatic. I think I broke that tape 3 times listening to it. And on top of that, I even bought the bootleg. because it broke on me. It broke in my Walkman as I was going to school. I stopped somewhere to get a bootleg just so I could listen to it. But do you think that Illmatic was the reasoning for hip hop albums from there on out to not be so thoroughly connected with like the one producer, one MC thing?
You know, for a run, yeah, probably. You know, for a good decade after that,
Yeah,
probably. Because then you got Jay followed the same suit, right?
yeah,
You have rappers following the same suit. So yeah, I'd agree.
yeah. I mean, some people worked it to their best, and they actually did come out with something good. Can't diss Reasonable Doubt, great album.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then there was other people who just were like, I'm gonna get the top producers, and it just fell apart really bad. So
hold on. The same people complaining about Nas's beat selection listen to mumble rap and close the fridge door with their ass and say boo.
Oh my god.
Listen, Ben, his beat selection over the years has been questionable at times.
Yes.
And that has always been one of Nas's hits, like against him.
Yeah.
I think the album he did with who did he do that with? Hitmaker?
The new one that just dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great album, great beat selection. Hitmaker worked well with Nas.
Yeah. And I
Kanye,
think
Kanye did not.
No, not at all. And you see, that's the thing. It's like sometimes even when you pair the best, where you think you got the best, sometimes it doesn't work at all. Because
Right.
I'll be honest with you, like, well, my number 5 was Nas. So,
Okay.
you know, but you could never think about getting, you know, that whole thing works if you have like a good project. And you know, like if all these parts are going to work together, then kudos. But you know, if you're going to pick just one producer to work with, sometimes you really got to make sure that you mesh well. And I think Hitmaker did his thing on that album, and Nas did what he had to do. And I was impressed because I mean, I've been following Hitmaker with the Half a Mil projects. I love those, but I mean, all of those are like all trap joints. And I was kind of like, when I heard that he was doing Nas, I was like, wow, really? Nas is going that route? But then when I heard what he did, I was like, oh, I didn't know Hitmaker was that well.
Yeah, Hitmaker got a joint with Benny too.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, the recent project he had, you know, he did a whole bunch of shit with Benny, and Benny, you know, that was a shit. So I love the fact that Hitmaker. And people knowing who Hitmaker is, and knowing that he's like you know, started with the trap stuff, can now take from him to be like, yo, he's a well-rounded dude. He got into other types of music too, and look at all the projects he's popping out crazy.
Hitmaker's ear, as far as a musician is concerned, is phenomenal. To get the style of Nas, to get the style of Benny, you know, and mesh so well with them.
Yeah. Because there's some producers like, you know, I'll be real with you. A big epic failure to me, when I first heard that they were combined together, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I thought it was going to be dope. And then it just flopped miserably. Was when I heard that Pharrell was doing something with Common. And they did a whole album together. But to me, that was probably the worst album Common ever did next to Electric Circus. And I was just like, what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it all really depends, you know what I mean? Like who you really pair yourself up with, and you know, you go from there and stuff and whatever. Like, you know, you got to really like comment. Well, all right, so we're going right there. Well, who's your number 5? Because I don't even want to skip ahead. Where's your number 5 at?
Big Pun.
Big Pun. Okay.
Big Pun, and he, you know, he's another one that I was fascinated with how is this big motherfucker delivering so well? You know what I mean? Because at 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, I'm having to work and learn breath control to deliver accordingly. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he just made that shit sound so effortless, even though he was breathing like he was Darth Vader. You know what I mean?
You're right about that. He had a crazy breath control for a big dude. And,
Yeah.
obviously, in the end, I think at that time, man, just depending on how you spit, I used to spit real fast back in the day.
Okay.
And, my breath control was pretty wild. I mean, obviously, I can't do that shit now, but it's interesting. Busta still can do that shit. And somebody asked him, how do you do that? How do you go about that? I think it was on Drink Champs they asked him, and he actually said that the way his breath control is, it comes down to him just basically being just focused on that one and being like relaxed with his flow instead of thinking about it so much into the tune where you're trying to accentuate so much that it fucks everything up. So he really relaxes his breath more than anything to make it not that fast.
And Bust has such a predominant voice that even if he's just talking to you, he sounds like Busta Rhymes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he does. One of the most funniest guys to interview, to be honest with you. You really hear him talk, it's hilarious because he comes out with all these like, you don't understand, like, it's like,
and it sounds just like him.
Yeah,
like woo-ha, got you all the check.
Yeah, Busta all over the place. Oh man!
But go ahead. Who's your number 6? Is Common?
Yeah, my number 6 is Common.
Okay.
I love Common. I loved. He's one of those guys who's always a back and forth in the beginning, and then he just went straight for me from there on out. His first album was to be honest, I never liked his first album. I couldn't stand his first album.
Right.
But then he did he's one of those guys who just finds a way to basically get on your good graces somehow. And like, I think he knows it because he kind of like, damn, I fucked up. Let me come back to what I'm about. So it was just like that first album was so like Das Effects influenced his flow. Beats were dope. I can't rock, I can't knock the beats. You know what I mean? But it's just, like, cause he had the Beat Nuts produced for him. He had a bunch of people producing for him. But it was just so all over the place. But then he did the Soul by the Pound remix, which I was like, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And then he did Resurrection, which that album is hands down probably top at anybody's top 20 list of albums. You know what I mean? Like that album, amazing. And then he drops the ultimate diss record on Ice Cube, which solidifies him as one of the illest battle rappers to come at you. And
that was when people were fearing Ice Cube.
Yeah, and he stepped up to Ice Cube and woof, talk about a whooping. And then he dropped. I mean, albums after that were really dope. I mean, he dropped the oh man, what was the name of the album? I can't even think. Reminded me of stuff was on it. One Day It'll All Make Sense. He made that album amazing. Then he dropped like Water for Chocolate, which that was with Dilla, which crazy album. But then he went to Electric Circus because that's when he was with Erykah Badu and he got on his freaking koofies and colorful bright shit.
Does Erykah Badu? Now we know the hip hop talks, right?
Yes.
Do you think she's a unicorn like that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about her. I mean, she flipped Andre. She flipped Andre. She flipped Common. She flipped. She's with. I don't know if she's still with him, but what's his name? This dude who just dropped an album with Jay. Jay Electronica.
Jay Electronica. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been talks that she has incense that smells like her,
yeah,
her love, so to speak.
She sold this shit during COVID time. She started selling incense that smelled like her, Hey, If it's
Hey,
that bomb and she wants to put it out there and it's sold out,
it's sold out.
yeah.
It's sold out. Like, can't add the cart at this time. Like a PS5.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about her, to be honest with you. I don't know if maybe she's that girl that just you would never know. You would never think to her to be that potent.
When I picture Erica Badu walking into a room and it's just with fog and incense and patchouli in the air.
Yo, Erica Badu.
Who's your number 6?
I just
Or
said
that was Common.
Yeah, so who's your number 6?
Scarface.
Wow, okay.
Scarface Mob.
Good selection.
I've been rocking with the Ghetto Boys for a long time. And I'm a real moody listener. So like if a song catches me in that mood and it resonates with me, it'll resonate with me forever.
Yeah.
When obviously Mine's Playing Tricks on Me was very deep for its time.
Yes.
But when they dropped G Code,
okay,
I just happened to be going through an indictment.
Okay.
And not to further incriminate myself, but that was the one for me. And his latest album with Mental Exorcism on it, is that album to me is phenomenal.
Yeah, the last album we just dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a great album. Amazing album.
Yes.
Shout outs to A1 because that dude loves Scarface.
Yo, when he knew I was a Scarface fan, and here we go talking about A1 again. He was sending me alternate remixes and guitar riffs and all kinds of shit. Yo, man, listen. My biggest bite in the ass was Scarface was at the TLA in Philly, and I couldn't make it.
Oh, damn.
I was uptight.
I am so blessed that I've gotten to see so many rappers and it's like, and then some who even passed away and I'm like, oh my God, thank God I got to see them. You know what I mean? But it's like, if there is ever an artist that I really want to see, like I want to make sure that I get to that show because, I just want to make sure that I get to see them before anything happens to them or they just stop doing anything. You know what I mean?
That was the kick in the ass for me.
I feel you, man. That's nuts. Like, that's just like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with you. Like to me right now, I could have gone to an MF Doom show and I never went.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like knowing that he passed away. Like, that sucks. Like, I loved MF Doom since KMD, and it was just like to be like, damn, I could have gone to a show of his and I didn't, and I regret it now.
Right.
Like, completely. So yeah, that was nuts.
James said Finding Forever was the name of the album. Common's album.
Finding Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Why would he, for what album?
When we were listing off Common's albums, that was the album that was, yeah.
Well, no, there was Electric Circus. Then so Electric Circus is the one that actually he went like a total like crazy direction.
Right.
But then after Electric Circus, it was B.
Yes.
B was the album that was like when Kanye jumped in the picture. It was like, yo, I'm gonna bring you back to your shit. And then he did. So, and then Fighting Forever was right after B. So
right.
And then ever since then, everyone's been good. So
who's your number 7? Who's your lucky number 7?
My number 7 is Biggie.
Okay.
My number 7 is Biggie. So, and I gotta give it to Biggie because I love Biggie since the Who's the Man soundtrack. And that song to me was so ill. I love that soundtrack too. I love the shit out of it.
I miss soundtrack days.
Where there were good soundtracks. That was the Who's
Yeah.
the Man soundtrack was dope.
Above the Rim.
Above the Rim
Show.
soundtrack. Yep. The Show soundtrack. Wow.
Yeah.
New Jersey Drive soundtracks.
New Jersey Drive soundtrack.
Yep. Those are dope. But back to Biggie, Ready to Die. Phenomenal album through and through. I actually like it way better than Life After Death.
Me too.
So I think Life After Death should have been just should have been a single album. There could have been a couple of cuts taken off, and
you could have consolidated that to 17 bangers.
Yeah. So
you know,
but yeah, there was a Biggie to me. I mean, his wordplay ridiculous. Just the way he came off, the way we were talking earlier, how he just made he made big dudes. Yeah, I mean, kick that game, make us look
fat
dope.
and ashy, baby. Fat and
ashy. But nah, he real dope, a real ill MC, and hands down, he could. I mean, Who Shot Ya, to me, fucking probably one of the illest tracks you ever spit. And you could do it from the A to B sides. I mean, look at Juicy. Juicy was such an ill song, but then the B side was Unbelievable, which was like straight up street freaking anthem at Premiere on the Beat. You know what I mean? And it was like it was so dope for him to just flip it that way and be in a lane like that. And then his album was a story too. I loved his album, the way it started with Birth. And then, the way at the end of the way he ended the song and stuff and whatever. And then Life After Death obviously continued after that. So
that's why I tell people to stop speaking things into existence.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's I don't know. The whole thing with Biggie kind of that whole thing kind of gets me. I can't. I know what he was trying to do.
Right.
But he did really. I think he should have. I don't think he should ever have gone to LA. It made no sense. It made no sense to go to LA. It made no sense. I mean,
you're just out there poking the bear, just being out there.
Yeah, like it made no sense to me. Like, your album dropped. You know it's gonna sell. It's your Biggie. You know what I'm saying? You're done. You're gonna sell 1 million records. You're good, bro. You don't have to go and promote it at that time. You didn't have to go to LA at that time. You didn't have to.
They were in the midst of the shitstorm.
Exactly. Just a year later, just because, come on, man. That shit still stays fresh in people's minds. You know what I mean? Regardless if you weren't the one who pulled the trigger that killed Tupac. But everybody knew that, that Tupac and you had beef, regardless. And that was on some East Coast, West Coast shit. I mean, you heard about Coolio. You ever heard about what Coolio did?
No.
You know that Coolio jumped on a plane and he was ready to jumped on a plane, came to New York to specifically come and kill Tim Dog when Tim Dog dropped Fuck Compton.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, them West Coast dudes take that shit seriously. Like, they take it seriously. Like, you diss their coast, they're going to go no matter what to make prove a point.
Yeah.
So, and if Coolio, out of all people, Coolio, and this is, this is before Fantastic Voyage and all that shit. That dude was a banger. And that dude was like, yo, I'm going to New York and I'm going to kill that dude because he's talking shit on my spot. Like,
it's crazy. I've seen, and even to this day, at 40 years old, I know people that still live that life, and I'm not here to indict anybody. My name not DJ Vlad.
Woo!
But
fuck Vlad.
Fuck Vlad. But people ride for that shit.
Yeah, especially the West Coast, man. West Coast is ride or die, man. They live by that shit. So for me, for Biggie to think that he was gonna go over there and do some peace treaty type shit, he should have had Farrakhan ready. He should have had all that shit ready. And then
Farrakhan and the whole team out there.
Exactly. I mean, look at Common. Common and Cube they went through Farrakhan to squash that beef.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you think you're bigger than even them two, to just go out to a coast thinking that shit's gravy.
Where you don't belong at the time.
Exactly.
Let's be clear.
So, that's the only thing Biggie, I think, did wrong ever. Well, next to selling his publishing to Diddy and Diddy fucking him over. But that's the
Diddy is such
Diddy's the biggest shark in the world, hands down. Biggest shark in the world. Biggest shark. And
the
then,
Locks just got their pub back like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And the whole Mace thing, that shit is crazy. How Mace, I mean, it's funny that Mace, out of all people, put him in his place in a radio station live to be like, yo, here's my fucking paperwork. Give me my shit back. Like,
but no matter what, people can say whatever they want about Mace. He was an official one too, though.
Yeah.
He was in them streets too.
Yeah. I think many of those, like, that's just some crazy shit. But yeah, I just wanted to speak about Biggie with that. I think Biggie should have never gone over. I think Biggie would have still been alive. I think Biggie had a lot of things in plan. Junior Mafia was blowing up at that time. Little Kim blew up. So a lot of the seeds that he had planted blew up. And he, and just imagine if he was still around. You know what I mean? I mean, you really think about it. You go to a point where you're just like, was Jay gonna go where he was gonna go?
Right. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Or what if Biggie was still around and he got his hands on an artist like Joey Badass?
Yeah.
Or J. Cole?
Not even that. Let's even go like this. Biggie was around the time when there was a 50 Cent trying to get signed and nobody would. What if Biggie picked up 50? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you really think about it. You really think about shit like that. You'd be like, wow, like he could have been that dude. I mean, yo, how crazy is that? Well, on Drink Champs, they brought up that Biggie hit up Nori while he was in LA and said, I want to do the remix to Blood Money with y'all.
Yes.
Like,
how crazy is that?
Just think about Biggie on that track. Like, Jesus.
But let's get to my number 7.
Go ahead.
Redman.
Oh, so you go back to Red. Hell yeah.
Redman. His level of authenticity as an MC and his not give a fuck meter was through the roof.
Yes.
I was like, this dude is rapping his ass off.
And to this day,
the 4 joints he put out, the 4-pack.
Yeah.
Or the 3 joints or whatever it was.
3 joints EP. That Black American shit. Oh my God.
Fire.
And you see, and that's the thing, man. That kind of aches me. All these dudes out there, I understand you all worried about money and shit. But you know what? Drop some social conscious shit. And Redman did that no matter what. And that song was insane. Like that Black Man in America shit was ridiculous. I mean, that shit was real dope. And that slap shit out.
Yo.
Slap shit out you, that shit is too funny.
That's vintage Redman, if ever.
And that's the thing about Redman. Redman was, let's give credit when credit is due. Jersey gets slept on a lot.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the Jersey heads that are watching this. But y'all get slept on because Jersey did a lot for the East Coast in the 90s. A lot.
Tretch, Redman, Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature, Tretch.
Yep. See that? Lords of the Underground.
Yes.
Outsiders.
Yes.
Fugees.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny because one of the Fugees is my next one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I digress. Who's your number 8?
Who's my number 8? You know what? I gotta go with Jay. I gotta go with
me
Jay.
And you are pretty close, Cap. Pretty close.
I gotta go with Jay. Jay grew on me too. This is the funny part. I was a fan of Jay through Originators and when he was a Big Daddy Kane and when he did Original Flavor. Then when he did Reasonable Doubt. But then after that, I didn't really like his whole jiggy type shit that he was doing.
Right.
And then Blueprint is where he brought me back.
Yeah.
And then from Blueprint on, I think Jay was at his best and spit that shit. So
I would love Jay more if he would just put on for Trenton a little bit. Like he ain't reside there for a minute. That's all.
I'm telling you, Jay, what I love about Jay though now is that the fact that he now is like, you know, he's at that point where he doesn't have to make money off the music. He's making so much money off everything else. But I think what's dope about it is that he's telling you now what the game is about in his lyrics and exactly what you should either be doing or you should not be doing.
Right.
And, you know, and just the way, but still, even the way he presents everything now, it's still something you're going to look forward to. No matter what, everyone could talk about all Magna Carta and everything. I mean, shit, I like those albums. Don't even front. I actually like them. And
me too. Yo, that little kid that he had flipped the reggae sample, the Crown joint.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing to me is just like Jay is so. Sometimes some people like and it's true about how people talk. You know, only in hip hop do you get dissed when you're old. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why? You know what I mean?
To be like Axl Rose isn't 9,000 years old performing.
Look at the Rolling Stones still doing tours. You know what I mean? And I mean, all our rappers are still doing tours, but it's like the Rolling. You know, if Big Daddy Kane drops an album now, he ain't going platinum. But the Rolling Stones drops an album now, and they're gonna go like triple platinum. You know, and that's the messed up part about hip hop and the way we are. Like, we should be buying those albums and making sure that those artists are getting their fucking just due, not these new kids because they come out with a fucking catchy chorus that they could dance on TikTok and shit and make dough. You know what I mean? That's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a hip hop artist. That's, you know what I mean? That's not what it is. You know what I mean? And I think that's the shit. And in the end, you know, a lot of these artists, they're not going to go on tour like all these other dudes do.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Look at Public Enemy. They still sell out arenas overseas. You know what I'm saying? Cypress Hill sells out arenas overseas. So there's a lot of artists out there that, you know, these new artists ain't going to be doing that shit. That's why they came out with that. That's why they came up with these festivals. Because that's the only way they're going to survive, yo.
Facts.
That's the only way it's going to happen, man.
Lil Uzi Vertical is at the festival.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's my 7. That's my 7. Oh, it was my 8. That was my 8.
That was your 8.
Yeah.
My 8 is Lauryn Hill.
All right.
I don't know pound for pound too many that can match her pen.
Really?
Well, I mean, I wish her catalog was bigger.
Yes.
But for what she has dropped, I'm obviously a fan. Jersey, again. You know, but the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was phenomenal to me.
Yes.
You know, if I want to hear a female spit, I know that she won't let me down.
Yeah.
And I think her predecessor, who's down on my list, but we've had talks about her as of late, and I'll get to her later. But you already know where I'm going with that. Now, and I hope that, you know, more women MCs fit that mold and go for that.
Lauryn Hill, you know, personally, I knew her because we were at shows and stuff together, and she was, you know, very, very great, very chill person. But I also knew behind the scenes all the shit that was going on too, that led to her writing Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Right.
But in the end, she, with that album, did solidify a lot of different things. She solidified the fact that you could be a dope MC and that you could also be an amazing singer, an all-around artist. And I think after her is when everybody started going in and dwelling into that. going into the fact that, hey, if I got the pipes, I'm not gonna stay shut. I'm gonna sing too. You know what I mean? So,
E,
yeah, like
he was I thought she could rap.
yeah.
You know,
So there's a lot of different people that are. But Lauren
who's
Hill.
your 9? Who is your 9, Cat?
Oh my God, who's my 9?
It's gonna be a long night, Cat. You see what I did there? Oh, dad jokes for days.
Honestly, my 9 is LL Cool J.
Okay.
So,
Ladies love Cool James.
yep. LL Cool J, as you can see the jacket in the background, that's his.
Mm-hmm.
It's here to stay.
Right.
LL, I've met in 3
Yeah.
different instances, and we have done. He's one of the best, hands down. For everything, ladies. For the ladies, he does his thing. For the fellas, he does his thing. And now actor and everything else he does, everything he touches is gold. So I got to give it to LL.
Facts. I'm not mad at that. LL, he was the first artist that I could lay in my bed and be comfortable with. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall and I was like, this guy is so smooth.
Yo, so
And
smooth.
then spin that bitch right back around. No, rap, you rap quite like I can. And kill that on bad shit.
Yup. He's yo. First of all, his story should be told. His story
Yeah,
should be a movie.
absolutely. Give
Uh,
him his, let me quote Nori, give him his flowers now
yeah,
because he deserves them.
he deserves them. And the thing with LL, I mean, his story is basically what everyone was doing at that time to get on. He
Right.
found Tila Rock. What do you call it? Well, he found the Def Jam single, saw the
Yeah.
phone number, called it and called it and called it and called it and
Beat
called it
that line up.
until somebody said, "Fine, send in your damn tape." He actually went and dropped off the tape,
Right.
and next thing you know, I think it was Mike D. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was Mike D who actually found the tape and said, "Rick, you need to listen to this."
It was Mike D who said, hey, Rick,
Yeah, and then
which
Rick
is wild to me because I love Rick Rubin.
Yeah, and then Rick Rubin just said, "You know what? Let's get this dude," and the rest is history. And
Fact.
that's just insane. And then from there on out, I mean, come on, do you understand that LL drops? I need a beat, and then literally he's doing Crush Groove, and he's doing I need you know what I mean? Can't live without my radio. Like,
Mama said knock you out and lounging.
yeah. And then through the years, he's always been prevalent. Every single decade, he has rocked the 80s, the 90s, and 2000s. He's rocked them all.
They
Straight
called me Big LA.
up. Which, that song.
Yeah.
But,
We're gonna go to my 9. And the album Everything Falls Apart to me solidified my artist for number 9.
Okay.
And that's Black Thought.
Wow. Okay.
Streams of thought aside, we'll get to that in a second. When Black Thought, and here's another one, Erykah Badu put out with the Roots, You Got Me, that it resonated.
Okay.
And then that had me tune into the Roots and the Questlove, and I was fascinated that Black Thought was rapping behind a guy beating on the drums. And then now, if you look at his Streams of Thought series, those 3 LPs are phenomenal. I don't know if you listen to them.
Streams of Thought?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Sure. Volume 1, 2, and 3 is crazy.
I'll tell you when Black Thought got me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Black Thought had me when I first listened to the freestyle on the Do You Want More album with him and Dice Raw. And then I mean, Dice Raw, first of all, is that he killed that shit. But
Right.
know that they both
my hair coming out for this.
But to know that they both freestyled on the top of their heads for that joint and just bit like just
bodied it.
I mean, they bodied it. And to me, that was like, wow, this dude is crazy. And then Philadelphia Half-Life came out, and Philadelphia Half-Life to me is my favorite album from their collection. And when I heard Sections, when he dropped that verse, I could go word for word for that with that verse all the time. And I love the wordplay and the way he manipulates syllables and everything to make it all come out. And just so ill. And he kills everything on there. From that song to, Clones to the Concerto of a Desperado to Light, I mean, I could go on and on for about Philadelphia Half-Life. And then, right, Things Fall Apart, amazing album. But I mean, Black Thought, very underrated, always was underrated. It's dope that he's now getting his shine. And I mean,
the shit that kills me is like, yo, you seen that Black Thought freestyle on Funk Flex?
Yes. I've seen more. I've seen way better shit than that.
I'm like, bro, really? Like, you just now tuning in? I digress.
Yeah. Black Thought.
Who's your number 10?
Black Thought has been around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to get up there. Yo, my number 10, honestly, man, and I might get flack for this, but I don't care. Eminem, yo.
Okay.
I like Eminem. And Eminem
I respect it.
Probably, and this is gonna be crazy saying this, but I don't know what it is, man. I don't know where the hatred comes from. I don't know anything. I personally, as a lyricist, I'm sorry, but as a lyricist, when you hear what he spits, you know where we're coming, that you know what he's doing. And that is why you respect the man. When people start saying, oh, what he's saying, this and this and this and this, and it's like, no, then you are not listening.
Don't listen. You're missing the whole shit.
Yep. You have no idea about what that dude is doing lyrically.
And I say this all the time. Has Eminem become a tough listen? Yes.
Yes.
You have to tune all the way in.
Yep.
And be equipped to dissect bars.
Yes.
Eminem, if you can't do that, don't listen now.
His wordplay is so ill, and you cannot take away from him. Plus the fact of his catalog, what he has done, the shit he did underground-wise, the battles that he's been heralded to be one of the illest, and he destroyed many dudes on. I mean, this dude came from the ground, from underground to up. And he's a huge success story, but still does what he has to do. And no matter what, all y'all can say, oh, Eminem's old, whatever, yada, yada. But you know what? He drops an album, and 1 million people are still going to buy that shit. So the thing is, definitely. He's never going to lose that shit. And, hey, I'm one of the lucky ones to meet him, to interview him, to freestyle with him. And, that dude probably
shit.
Yep, that dude is probably one of the illest, and I always will be. And the thing is, you also got to know about M. He knows his hip hop.
Oh, for sure.
He is a student.
Yes.
Of hip hop, and he will massacre people if it comes to the history of hip hop.
Yes. You ask, like, the thing that sold me on him, and this is years ago, he was like, my favorite artists are Redman, Tretch, The Outsiders. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, he gets it. He understands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he knows. I mean, Tretch alone, like, just to say Tretch your favorite MC, but then to make you understand why, and then you go and sit back and now really listen to Tretch and be
Now
like, yo,
you're listening with a different ear now.
you listen with a different ear because everybody all they know from Tretch is OPP
and Hip Hop Array.
And Hip Hop Array. I mean, but when you really hear, like, my favorites are Guard Your Grill. When you hear those joints and when you hear that, you get like, oh shit. Like,
obviously, me, as you've learned, I'm really into storytelling rap. Yes. He painted such a vivid picture in Ghetto Bastard, and everything's going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely painted a picture for that. I mean, Tretch is very underrated. It's, and it's dope that Eminem is giving him such light just to be like, yo, and I hope they do a song together. I hope they really do, because that would just be pretty ill. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty. That's the thing with M. Like, he knows his shit. Like, people try. It's funny. I be seeing interviews where dudes be kind of like questioning certain things, and he be catching them off guard. Like, what, you know about that shit? Yeah, man. Don't play them. Yes. Don't play M. Do not play that dude. Don't play that dude out.
My number 10 is, and I don't think there's a lineage in hip hop and people should get their flowers. And I think one of the people that a lot of MCs have modeled their game around is my number 10, and that's Rakim.
All right.
I remember copping Rakim on vinyl. I remember making a mixtape with the pause and record button on cassette. You know what I mean? Like, Juice, the movie Juice, got me into digging into Rakim.
Oh wow, okay. So when you heard Know the Ledge?
Yeah, I was, not that Rakim was before my time.
Yeah.
And so that was now I need to go and do some homework.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are enjoyable. For whenever I get turned on to an artist that I don't know about, and at that time in 94, 95, whenever Juice came out, that was it for me.
Well, Rakim's my number 11.
And I told you, Cap, man, wow.
And the thing with Rakim, and I always say this, is you could play Paid in Full today, and it still makes more sense than that came out in 86. Yes. Like, that's the wildness of Rakim. All those timeless. Paid in Full is one verse.
And if you play that shit, everybody that knows it is rapping along with it word for word.
Word for word. And the thing with Rakim is just like, Paid in Full is one verse. People still don't even realize that. It's just one verse. But in that one verse, he basically lets you know what the struggle and the hustle is all about.
Facts.
And that's why to this day, you can play Paid in Full, and that shit still makes perfect sense to you if you really pay attention. Like, that album is, and then on top of that, if you when you first heard his first album to his second album, third, I mean, when you hear that, I mean, that was the introduction of the 5% Nation and the teachings, and you were like, what is this guy talking about? My favorite song from him, honestly, In the Ghetto by my God. I mean, if you hear that song alone, he dropped so much knowledge in that song that you was just like,
damn.
Yo, what? Like, yeah. Rakim is phenomenal. My only thing with Rakim, though, is that he's always been so monotone to me that it just gets to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's his only littleness of his weakness of him. That you could
the way he rides a beat, though.
Oh yeah, he's ill. I mean, and the way he pens shit. I mean, he says shit that you'd be like, wow, okay. I mean, he makes you definitely think. But that's my only thing about him. He just was very, very monotone, and I think that's just the one thing that took away from him more than anything. But he's definitely classic. Everybody always stands down, tells about his greatness. So Rakim is always be a legend. So
my number 11 is Jay-Z.
okay.
Reasonable Doubt, the Blueprints, the Black Album, they all speak for themselves.
Yeah.
My favorite joint was never on an album though, was the Early This Morning freestyle that he did.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like to this day, I'm like, every time I think about bomb bomb, I'm like, that's it. That's it for me. And like people talk shit about Jay about his content as of late, like 444. But if you listen to it, he's really teaching you the game.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
He's really giving you the game.
444, he touches on so much shit. I mean, story of OJ, like, if you didn't learn anything from story of OJ, pack your fucking bag, get the fuck out.
You're not allowed to be in hip hop anymore. You're not allowed to be in this culture anymore.
Story of OJ is such a phenomenal record. You need to sit there and listen to that shit. Because not only is he teaching you about racial things, he's talking also about, the money, the way money's earned, the way things are getting done, what you should be doing with that dough. Why do you represent a block that you don't own? Why are you know what I mean? Like, the
shit that kills me now is everybody want to talk about you need 8 streams of revenue to become a millionaire. Where'd you learn that shit from? I'll wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the joint for me on 444 was when he got real vivid about his mother's relationships.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, 444 is a great album. I think people slept on it. I think some people talk shit on it. It makes no sense why. I'm sorry, he's not a mumble rapper. He'll never be a mumble rapper. And his beats are, he's still getting dope beats when he wants. And it's Jay. And you got to listen to him. You know what I'm saying?
I even love, and people hated the Blueprint 3. I even loved the Blueprint 3.
Blueprint 3 was, it was all right. Yeah. I don't think it was like, but I mean, there was tracks.
It wasn't the Blueprint by no means, but there were some tracks on there.
So American Gangster was a dope album.
Slept on, bro.
Yeah, very slept on.
Holy shit.
Very slept on. Very, very, very slept on.
Who is your number 12?
Gangstar.
I ain't trying to talk.
You got to give it to Gangstar as together, Guru and Premier. Probably the illest duo ever. Of MC and DJ together. And Guru, I mean, he even told you it's mostly the voice. Probably one of the illest voices ever. And the beats of Premier, the DJing of her, the scratches of Premier, and every album is just hands down was a classic. I mean, even the greatest hits was a classic.
And you DJ, and I've DJ'd for an extended period of time, and I fell in love with scratching because of Premier. And to pull the shit off that he does is
it's funny because Premier's scratches sound so simple, yet they're not. And
right.
Yeah, and it's funny, but it's crazy. But the thing about them too is that they opened a whole new realm of like they really did open that realm of jazz, of you looking into jazz music and appreciating jazz.
Where are these sounds coming from?
Yeah, where are these sounds coming from? Very jazz based. For even Guru to then start the whole jazzmatazz movement and roll with that, and still solidify his own lane with that. I mean, that alone was that speaks volumes. And you know, I mean, and then for him to pass away, rest in peace to Guru. And then another album drops, and it's dope as shit. Like
at this point in the show tonight, all the young kids that may be watching are like,
what?
Guru.
Do you understand? Guru, Gangstar Foundation, Group Home, classic album, freaking J. Rue the Damager. Like, you want to talk about it? Like,
you know how many of your favorite MCs name Group Home? For real. For real.
Group Home.
But we're going to get into my number 12.
Go ahead.
DMX.
Wow. Okay.
Why the wow, Cap? Why the wow?
DMX is. I'll be real with you. DMX ain't even on my list anywhere. So. But no? You know what? I know where you come from with him. I could see it. Go ahead. Speak your story.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Give a depiction for the audience of where I come from with DMX.
No, give me a story. Because you know why? Because you know what? I could see the whole DMX thing. I can see it. I can see it.
I'm listening. I'm all ears. Big ass ears. Big ass ears, Cap.
No, you already explained it with the whole Joe Budden thing.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Because DMX is very, very deep, very, very like in that type of realm of emceeing and of depiction of struggling with mental and things like that. That's I can see where you
and
definitely get it.
You know, the yin to my yang, as much as I love the mood shit, I love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And DMX at that time gave me that You know what I mean?
DMX was like straight up releases of energy, like pent up anger, and just coming out, and it's very understandable. I get it. I'm not really that much of a DMX fan, but I do get how people really hold him up there. And then
you said it, he ain't on your list. It's all right.
Yeah, he ain't on him. Hold on. He ain't even. I mean,
Drake ain't on my list. You know what I mean?
What'd you say?
Drake ain't on my list.
Well, Drake ain't on my list either.
We're just taking just not needed shots. Vlad caught a stray. Drake just caught a stray.
Drake will never be on my list. Never.
No. Who's your 13?
My 13? EPMD.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you something about EPMD. Probably never mentioned as much, but and I'm glad when they did Drink Champs that every duo needs to bow down to EPMD. And because EPMD were them street dudes. They were the first ones that came out with that street shit. And and the beats were knocking, the rhymes was ill. But they were about that street shit. They were about that life. And and then you got to give them their props when props is due. And I mean, every album from Strictly Business to Unfinished Business to the classic Business as Usual. And then, and then Business Never Personal. After that, they broke up. They came back. But still, every album was phenomenal. And if it wasn't for EPMD, you wouldn't have a Redman. You wouldn't have a K Solo. You wouldn't have a Das Effects. You know what I mean?
People not ready for these types of talks.
Exactly. So EPMD, yes, hands down, definitely. And I'm glad they deserve their flowers. Probably the illest duo out there. So those guys are nuts.
My 13 is Eminem.
Okay.
And again, for somebody that raps, for somebody that takes pride in his storytelling and his delivery, I know how hard it is to manipulate the words the way he does.
Yes.
That's a different level of talent. that's top tier Hall of Fame NBA talent. You know what I mean?
He has like quadruple entendres in like 2 lines. You don't get it.
Yeah.
He breaks shit apart. He makes one word, and he breaks it to where it means 2 different things. It's just the way he makes it. It's crazy. You guys are not listening to his lyrics. You're not.
I'm glad you're breaking down entendres for the mumble rap fans.
Yes. Huh? I'm telling you, these dudes, you gotta understand. Like, there's one thing I understand. You got to do your party music. I understand, but damn, yo, some of us want to have our minds stimulated too. You know what I mean? And if you're not spitting that shit, you're not saying nothing to me. You know what I mean? I don't.
That's probably going to be the clip. I need that at the 1 hour and 21 minute mark.
There you go.
Who's your 14?
Tribe Called Quest. Hands down. Q-Tip, probably the most underrated producer ever, and lyricist. Yeah. And then you got Phife Dawg, who, rest in peace, but would probably destroy a ton of rappers out there.
Acting like he's 6'14".
And yeah, and on top of that, probably the most peaceful dudes ever.
For sure.
Dropped classic albums. And the biggest compliment ever that makes sense about them, Busta Rhymes said it. He said, no matter what was happening at the time, Tribe drops an album and it will always sound like Tribe, and it will make it itself relevant in that era.
Yes.
And that is the truth.
Yes.
No Tribe could drop any album during whatever period of bullshit is happening in hip hop, and it will stay true to Tribe, and it will still make sense for that era.
Yes.
And when their last album dropped, you couldn't even believe. This was a 90s album being dropped in 2019 or 2018, whenever it dropped.
18.
And it made sense. It made perfect sense.
And done so well.
And, the lineage of what Tribe began, Tribe is the reason why Pharrell is a producer. Tribe is the reason why we praise a dude named Jay Dilla. And
talk to him.
Cap
out here dropping jewels.
I mean, shit. I mean, if it wasn't, the reason why the Infamo Good was because of Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to go on and on. Like, Q-Tip is a dude who behind the scenes is ridiculous. You just don't even understand what Q-Tip has given to, shit. Q-Tip, Low End Theory inspired Dr. Dre.
I got so excited you lost me for a second.
I'm telling you, Q-Tip inspired Dr. Dre to do The Chronic.
Right.
Like, that alone should just let you know. Like, Tribe Called Quest is too fun. I don't even know. I think this should be number 1 on my list now that I'm talking about it. And flip it.
I knew De La Soul was going to be your number 1, but I definitely thought Tribe was going to be your number 2.
No, I don't even know why they're that low. Now I'm rethinking this whole shit now. But I'm telling you right now, they honestly are very. I listen to Tribe albums every day, like, anytime I can, any single song, it don't matter. You know what I mean? They started that whole shit. The Native Tongue. That's the dopest, illest crew name you'll ever hear in your life. What's my crew's name? Native Tongue. What? Native Tongue? Come on.
They don't even make rap names like they used to.
No, man. There's too many littles. Too many babies.
I don't like none of them. I don't like no littles.
Fuck.
I don't got no littles on my list.
I got no littles on mine either. My fucking list has titles that you can't even spell.
My 14 is Royce the 5'9".
Wow. All right.
And because I don't think he gets the credit that's due to him, I think along with the mixtape series, his bar exam series was top notch. And now I think he's continually putting out the best bodies of work that he ever has.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Royce, his last 2 albums were phenomenal.
mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. And yeah, you can't even knock him. You can't really knock that dude at all. He's just he's so up there in another stratosphere. Like, you just gotta leave him alone. And I love
another alien rapper.
Yeah, he's another one. Like, I mean, like, when when people ask me, like, what's your top 10 list now? Like, who are your top 5 MCs of now? And I'm there like, well, Royce the 5'9", Black Thought. Like, they're the first 2 names that come out of my mouth immediately. Royce is there. Royce is
same.
Royce.
Same. It's Royce. It's Black Thought. It's Kendrick. I mean, of right now.
Yeah.
Of right now.
Yeah. They're Royce is phenomenal. Probably, I'm glad people are up on him, and it's and I think he's getting his just due.
A bunch of late to the parties with him too.
Yeah. I mean, I was up on Royce for a while. I mean, shit. I mean, even when he was with M and doing their thing. But I think what really gave him the leg up was when they did the Bad Meet Evil 2. When they did that, and then from there on out is when Royce then started really shining on his
People
own.
start paying attention to everything he was doing.
Yeah, because he's ridiculous with his pen. He's ridiculous.
Yeah. Who's your 15?
My 15, well, it's the Roots with Black Thought, and the Roots are on that. So 15 is them. So,
and we've already dissected them.
Yeah, we already dissected them. So
my 15 is Busta Rhymes.
Wow. Okay.
And because I don't think people understand how hard it is for Busta to do what he does. It's one thing to be so talented. It's another thing to be talented and make it look so effortless.
Yep. Busta's one of them dudes who's like, and it's crazy now really hearing where he came from, what he did, what happened, and then to get to where he's at now. Right. That's a crazy story. I mean, he had a battle to get the Leaders of the New School name.
Yeah.
They had a battle. And you got named by Chuck D. So that's pressure enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got named by Chuck D. You come out with this group. Your album is phenomenal. Then you do the illest verse ever on the dopest posse cut of all time.
Row.
And then on top of that, that's what breaks up your group. You know what I'm saying? When you get dropped from your group, you're about to have a baby, and you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now?
Right.
And then what does he do?
Reinvents himself.
He reinvents himself and comes out with The Coming. And then goes on this huge takeover.
Yes.
So Busta's, and then what? Waits another 10 years or so to drop another phenomenal album? What the hell?
Extinction level event.
Jesus Christ. You got to give it to Busta. Yes, Busta's there, man. I'm about to
Who's your 16?
I'm about to change my shit right now. I'm giving Busta my 16. I'm moving somebody here.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. So I'm gonna hop into my 16 then. Andre 3000.
All right.
I have a different list of groups, which is Wu-Tang, Outkast, Tribe, De La, and The Firm, because I would have loved to see The Firm flourish. Didn't happen. But Andre, to me, he's another one of those guys, man, that's in a different stratosphere. Like, he could be on a R&B feature and it could be a minute long and I'm tuned in. You know?
I love Andre 3000, but personally, I love him more as Outkast than by
Oh
himself.
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
the chemistry of him and Big Boy, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's so yin and yang. Because Big Boy is the flashy dude, and Andre's the very, off the wall dude and
Emotional.
dude. Yeah. So
I just listened to AT Aliens the other day.
yes, which I love better than their first album.
Southern Playalistic Cadillac.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love well, I call it Atlians.
Yeah.
I call it Atlians. And I think Aliens is better than Southern Playalistic Cadillac music. I like Aliens better than Aquemini, and people love Aquemini.
Me too.
I even like it better than Stankonia.
Me too.
But Aliens was the album that made me be like, holy shit. No, Aliens is the reason why people love Andre 3000 on some real shit.
Yeah, that's the reason why I love him.
Yeah, because when you
Jazzy Bell, Wheels of Steel,
that's
Elevators.
Song. Not even those. You know what's my shit? The first song on the B-side. Now I'm talking tape shit. Wanna get fly high like a bird. For secondhand cocaine, what you know that sounds absurd. Come on, man. You know that whole verse? You was like, whoa, what?
Different, man. Different.
That's to me the Andre 3 that I grew up on that I love. And I loved all this shit. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about where he has to be with Big Boy. Like I need them together. I can't have them separate, to be real with you. As much as people want an Andre 3000 album, I mean, don't get it twisted. I'll listen to it, but I want an Outkast album again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it makes sense them together. It always does, and it always will.
Who is your number 17?
All right, so my number 17 is KRS-One.
Didn't make my list.
Wow! Woo! Damn.
And not for no reason other than, yeah, I like KRS. I do. Something about that guy rubbed me the wrong way. Pause.
All right. Well, all right. So let me talk about KRS and let's see if you might even agree with what I'll say about him.
Okay.
On the real, KRS will always be to me the most contradictory dude in hip hop ever.
Yeah.
Down.
All right. We're on the same page.
Okay. Because he will talk some shit and then he'll do some other shit. He's always doing that. Always. But in the end, you got to give respect when respect is due. KRS probably, I mean, you got to start off with Criminal Minded when that shit came out, my brother fucking recited that shit word for word. And it was I liked it personally because I think it got stuck in my head because of my brother more than anything. Right. But
I can't say, and not to cut you off, because I'm getting Chuck just chimed in. You bugging on KRS-One. Not to be controversial, he's just not on my list. Like, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. He set the precedent for a lot of MCs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But he's the
first one to introduce reggae into hip hop.
Yes.
And especially
you got me up in here hot, cat.
Especially with The Bridge Is Over. And come on, The Bridge Is Over.
Killed it. The bridge is over. The bridge is over.
Come on, man. Come on, man. He took a chance with that song
and killed it.
And he took a chance. I mean, and then hold on. And I'm gonna tell you right now what my favorite song from KRS-One is. Two of my favorite songs ever from him are My Philosophy, which
Fire.
Jesus.
I might have to rethink this whole KRS Now list.
In my philosophy alone, I mean, the first verse alone, man. Come on, where the hell are them lyrics?
Yo, Chuck, he might be top 10. I can't. It's like the Rakim theory. Like I can't.
What, when, why, or when? Or let me explain like instructions to a game. See, I'm not insane. In fact, I'm kind of rational when it comes to what's dramatical. This one or that one, the white one or the black one. Quick to bum and I'll jump up to attack one. KRS-One is just the type to lead a crew right up to your face and diss you, which he does.
Yeah. A lot of making me between you and Chuck. Between you and Chuck, I'm rethinking my list.
A lot of suckers would like to forget me, but they can't. But like a champ, I got a record. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's only the first 8 bars. And then
I'm apologizing to my hip hop heads in advance for starting such controversy.
And then my other song from him, Love's Gonna Get You.
Oh, yes.
And
God damn it, Cap. I was stern for not.
You can't take KRS off no list.
All right. He's gonna be in there somewhere. I gotta shuffle some shit around.
God, Love's Gonna Get You is the straight up like drug story anthem.
Yes.
And of how now I got steaks with the beans and rice. Like, come on, man. Got myself a Uzi and my brother a 9, which gets sampled in how many songs?
Killed it too. That shit does get sampled everywhere.
Yeah, man. Yo, that is
all right. You made a great KRS case. All right.
And that's not even mentioning what he does with Premiere then he goes on Premiere and starts destroying shit. And then come on, Return of the Boom Bap.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me strike that from the record. I may have not. I'm trying to be an equal opportunist and give everybody they just do. I'm a slide KRS right in before Andre. That was your 17?
That was my 17.
My 17 is Jada Kiss.
All right.
You seem so disappointed.
Because I don't know. How could you put Jada Kiss over KRS?
Well, I picked my favorites, Cap, on who I listen to more.
Dude, you see, no, and you know what? I get Jada Kiss is like 30 something for me. So
right.
He wasn't even on the top 25 or whatever. But
right.
All right, but you know what? This is the cool thing about this conversation, because the thing is we're seeing it from different angles. Well, how did it affect you? Why?
Different eras. Exactly. You know what I mean? You are like an era smidge below or before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I bought Edutainment on tape. Like
right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what's the cassette?
I bought all those cassettes. Like I bought all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm pissed at myself because now I could have bought all them 45s back in the day and I didn't. And I regret it because now all them hip hop 45s are more money than anything. And here's a crazy story. Let me just drop this real quick because I'm gonna piss off a bunch of people. Just this past week,
you better be paying attention. He about to make you mad now.
No, so I'm a big 45 collector. As you can see, I got 45 boxes all around me. I collect 45s, and I go digging every weekend when I can. And this past Sunday, I had some free time in the morning before my Bucks took it over. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna win.
Listen, we could have a part 4 of me slandering Tom Brady, but I digress.
But going to the spot, looking around, they got 45s all over the place, like looking like trash. going through everything, being like, whatever. And then I find this one little white box. I open it up, and the first 45 I pick up, brand spanking in mint condition, Stetsasonic, talking all that jazz on 45, worth $50 on Discogs. For a quarter, I bought it, and it's in mint condition.
Oh man. Chuck said, he said Chris in top 30. Wildcat bugging.
What? Oh, Kiss?
Yeah, Kiss.
You know what it is? I like Kiss to me. I appreciate him, but I'm not.
Right.
I'm not like he's another one that I think he's good. He's good together as the Locks.
Right, for sure. Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And now we're seeing our different eras play out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Tony Light said, "Love the hat, Cap Cee."
All right.
So that was your 18?
No, the 17 was my KRS.
Okay.
And you said
then
17.
My 17 was Kiss. Who's your 18?
My 18 is Nas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he was all the way up there for you. He's all the way down for me.
Yeah, he's 4 for me, but okay.
No, I love Nas. Whatever, but you know what? There has been some downfalls of his, and there's times when I kind of was like, what is this guy doing? And then he just came back again, then he falls off a little bit again, and then, he does this back and forth thing. But, I mean.
Do you play Uchi Wally in the club?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I got to.
Only question I needed to know.
I got to. But he does have the worst verse on that song, like Jay said.
Did Nas murder Jay with Ether?
No, he didn't. Let's talk about this. You got me. Oh, God damn it. Let me tell you something about Ether, people.
Fuck Jay-Z.
You know what? Let me tell you something about Ether. First of all, let's go back to the takeover. One verse. Nas had to do a whole song.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. If it wasn't for that one verse, Nas would have not resurrected himself.
You don't think?
Nas was going down a wrong path.
Okay.
He was going down a wrong path. That Nostradamus album was fucking terrible.
Oh, my God.
All right?
144, 245, 3 loaded clips.
Come on.
You rapping over Christmas beats, dog?
Not even that shit. The first single. Nostradamus. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Wasn't that You Owe Me shit on there, too?
Your homie was on there.
Don't say what's your price?
Come on, man. Yo, Jay resurrected that dude's career with that one verse. As much as he dissed him, he resurrected his career.
Okay.
He made Nas trash the album he was about to drop and redid it and then made Ether on top of that. So when it comes to who won the battle, in the end, you really got to say Jay did it all. And on top of that, then he signed the motherfucker.
Cap, can you hit the round of applause for me, please?
Yeah, hold on. Here we go. There you go. And I'm telling you, that's why to me, Ether, you can talk all Ether all you want. And I know people come at me about it, but I'm sorry. When you heard the takeover and you heard that verse, first of all, when he dropped the half a bar, ask Nas, he don't want it with Hov. No! Wait a minute, what? That's all you said. You were like, wait, what? Did he just say Nas? Did he just say Nas?
And I don't know if he had to say anything else.
Then the freaking verse comes in and you're like, oh my God, yo.
Take over. The wait's over.
Not only he destroyed Havoc, not Havoc. He destroyed
Prodigy.
He destroyed him from that point on. But then to go after Nas,
Yes.
and I know
He
who
set Summer Jam off that year. He did.
I know who I paid God, Searchlight Publishing. Come on, man.
That's them whole facts, man. Them whole Snapple facts will get you every time.
Woo. See, Nas's Ether was just like a straight up battle record, and he was just saying battle shit. Right. That's fine. I understand that he came after him with that. But when you hear that verse from Takeover, that's straight facts.
Yes.
He was straight up dropping facts of what he's talking about. And he talked about it. Let's be honest. He talked about it from a fan point of view. If you really listen to that verse, he's really saying, yo, dude, I looked up to your ass. And you dropped the ball.
Right. So get out of my way.
Like, that's the reason why I always say Jay took that battle. Because Ether is what Ether is. But Takeover, that shit, that's it. That's all I gotta say. That's all I got.
Who is your, did you say 18 yet?
That was my 18. So you gotta tell me you're 18.
LL.
Okay.
LL Cool J, and we already dissected him. You know, we could keep moving. Who's your 19?
See, this is where I went all over the place. I didn't even know who to pick now. That's when I started writing names. I was like, oh, maybe I'll go with this person. Maybe this person. This person. I'll go with them because you know what? They deserve it. Ice Cube.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
Ice Cube is
trendsetter. People can say he started that gangster rap era.
Well, he did. He wrote 6 o'clock, you know, Boys in the Hood. He wrote almost the whole fucking anything that NWA did. He wrote half that album. Actually, he almost wrote a whole album. He wrote Dre's verses.
Yeah.
Then when he went solo, America's Most Wanted, crazy album. Kill at Will EP. And then he drops Death Certificate. Which you were like, oh man, what the fuck did he just do?
Yeah. Disrespect.
And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And I'm glad if you saw the movie, I'm glad they showed that No Vaseline was the illest, nastiest battle diss record ever.
Facts.
He annihilated them on that shit. Like he killed them all. On that track.
That ass.
No Vaseline was like straight up probably one of the illest diss records you'll ever hear. And then after that, he drops The Predator. I mean, you got it. And then after The Predator, I think it was one more. And then after that, he went jiggy as fuck. And I don't know where he went after that. Right. So, but Ice Cube is, we
rapidly approaching the 2-hour mark, Cap. So we're going to dead this at 20, and then we're going to speed through artists that didn't make it.
Okay.
Who is your 19?
Oh, that was
Ice Cube. Ice Cube was your 19. Tupac is my 19.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
I didn't respect Tupac until a couple years back. Because I'm a big guy. You know what I mean? I'm a B-I-double-G-I-E, get it? A.K.A. Biggie.
Yes.
But then I dove into his body of work, and you can't take it away from him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, strictly for my He had I'm giving Chuck the business. Chuck, you don't rock with Pac. Can't talk that Pac shit when you ride with Big. I understand. Strictly for my, he had some joints on there I rocked with heavy. When my homies call.
Yes, when my
Brenda's got a baby.
I get around.
I mean? I get around. You know. So that's my 19. Who's your 20? I got you examining the list now. Who's gonna make the final cut?
Wow. You know what? I got to give it to his brother. Fonte from Little Brother.
And we had that Drake conversation.
Yes, we've had the Drake conversation. But we also got to talk about Fonte, how probably one of the most underrated wordplay lyricists. Like, he's the blue collar talker.
Yeah, for sure. 100% facts.
Like, let's be real. Anybody out there who works a 9 to 5, who got issues at home with their families, who's trying to fucking make ends meet, and he's trying to do something for the better of their lives, listen to Fonte. And listen to his
very, very identifiable.
Very identifiable, very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Fonte is ill. And then you will hear the Drake comparisons right in the beginning, because you'll hear what Drake took away from him. And like I said, Ninth Wonder said it himself. He said there would be no Drake if there was no Fonte. So
I appreciate your top 20.
Yeah.
My 20th is gonna go to Wu-Tang Clan.
Woo! Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang ushered in a bunch of misfits in my era that may or may not have called themselves the Junior Wu and may or may not have gotten into a ton of mischief because of said albums. But let's go through these real fast, and we're just gonna shoot names.
Let's wait. Hold on. We can't really just say Wu and not say anything else. You cannot just do that.
Okay, I was raised in a Catholic household. We'll start there.
Okay.
And it's 95. I'm up in my bedroom and I'm playing at a wild decibel. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. I go out to the park. I come back and my mom is smashing my cassette with a hammer in the backyard.
Yeah.
I said, well, what happened? What'd you do that for? Shit, not in my house. And yeah, man. Yeah.
See, that's a story you need to hear.
Yeah, man.
Ain't nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang, let me tell you something about Wu-Tang. When I first heard Protect Your Neck, I was like, first of all, what the fuck am I listening to?
Right.
I honestly, and I, you know, did you ever see Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you see where Bones Malone is saying how he heard them when RZA gave him the tape and he said 9 Emcees on a track and there's no chorus? No, what the fuck? What is this? Here, man, take that shit out of here. I'm gonna be real with you. I was Bones Malone. Because I respected what they were I mean, first of all, you can't diss what they were rhyming. I mean,
no.
Inspector Deck set it off, and they went on from there. But at the same time, I was so used to the 16 bar Cook 16 bar
format.
Yeah, I was used to the format, just like Bones, where I was like, "What the fuck? What am I listening to? This is too crazy."
Right.
So I really was like, I don't know about this. But my homies were hardcore about it. My homies were all about Wu-Tang. And then the B-side was Method Man. And Method Man was the track that actually pulled me in And then when the album dropped, that was it. That was all said and done.
Yeah.
So, but Protect Your Neck really had to grow on me first. Method Man was the one that pulled me in, and then it was the whole album that later on convinced me then that, yeah, Wu-Tang was some shit. And then you can't really take a Wu-Tang to this day. That W is so prevalent. And
I'm about to get it tattooed on me, Cat.
You see, there you go. You know what I mean?
All this ink I got on me, a Wu-Tang about to be next.
Look at that sign.
I see it forever. I see it.
Presidents are around for a little bit, but Wu-Tang is forever.
Shout out to Spittin.
All right, so go ahead. Now tell me your honorable mentions here.
I got a bunch, man. Pusha T.
Okay.
I like. J. Cole. I like.
Joe, yeah.
Dave East. I like.
Okay.
What I'm listening to now mentions.
Okay.
Styles P is probably one of the most consistent as of the last 10 years.
Yes, Styles P. I really got to give it to him.
Mm-hmm. Nipsey.
Okay.
Nipsey, and we had the
discussion
when rappers die. People, yeah. But I like Nipsey's cohesiveness on Victory Lap is what sold me.
No, it's a good album. Really good album.
Yeah.
Got front on that album.
Fred the Godson. I've been a Fred the Godson fan forever.
That's sad.
Another fat guy embracing and rolling with it.
Yeah.
Jim Jones on his consistency as of late. Rhapsody.
Oh. Well, there you go. Want to talk about a female MC? There you go.
And that's who I was alluding to when I was talking about Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
Because Rhapsody is pound for pound it right now.
But you see, for me, even before Rhapsody, I would say Bahamadia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bahamadia to me was probably one of the illest, MCs, female MCs. And then, I mean, before that, shit, MC Light was freaking insane.
Yes.
MC Light and Latifah, both of them,
were
ill as fuck. But you got, but to keep it along that, yeah, when it comes to like very like lyrical shit, I would definitely go with a Bahamadia, and then I'd definitely a Rhapsody right after that. So, yeah, you definitely.
I got Benny the Butcher in there.
I got Benny. I got Conway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Sue Surf in there. I got Mozzie in there.
So
that's who I got. But who is your honorable mentions?
Well, I got Benny. I got Conway. I got Blue. You know Blue from LA?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Blue's real dope. He just dropped a phenomenal album, which the Miles album, which is fucking crazy. And then it's like not that many from like the new era. I would definitely
that's clear. Your age bias has been very prevalent this episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever.
Same.
So, I mean, because I'm a huge like for instance, Diggable Planets, which to me a great fucking group. The Hieroglyphics Crew. So you know what I mean. That's Souls of Mischief, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, all them dudes. Cypress Hill, which I think is very very underrated and never gets talked about much. But I think Cypress is fucking.
Their joint right now, their joint that they have with the Fugees, Boom Biddy Bye Bye.
Yeah.
Still in my playlist to this day.
Okay.
To this day.
How I Could Just Kill a Man is still one of my favorites, top like 20 songs of hip hop. And it has one of my favorite lines ever written in hip hop. I be real. And that's when he says, how do you know where I'm at? How do you know where I'm at when you're coming from where I am? How do you know where I'm at? Oh shit! I'm forgetting it now. Hold on. How do you know where I'm at? How do you know where I'm at when you haven't been where I've been? Understand where I'm coming from? Probably one of the illest lines ever written. And you hear that shit, you'd be like, damn. Because for real, how do you know where I'm at if you haven't been where I've been?
Right. Yeah. Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. Probably one of the best Be Real fucking lyrics ever. So, and Be Real still doing shit. I mean, Be Real got the serial killer shit with Exhibit
and Demrick.
So, and
Demrick's dope too.
Yeah, I love that shit. So, what do you call it? Talib is on there. Ghostface is on there.
Ghostface, I got Ghostface too.
Yeah,
but so, I rounded them. I rounded Ghostface and Raekwon in with the Wu.
You know who else? Dilated Peoples. Actually, the whole Liquid crew. And I'm gonna a big shout out to Alcoholics. Alcoholics gets not a lot of praise, and they should get a lot of praise. Alcoholics is probably very, very underrated. Tash,
sure.
Tash is insane.
Tash is a monster.
Yes. Yeah. Tash is a monster, and you got to give it to Tash. That dude is crazy ill. So, and like the Liquid crew, that's, if you really think about it, that whole Soul Assassin Cypress Hill shit,
right,
that started everything for LA.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, because from Cypress came, it was like that all meshed. It was all like Cypress Hill, Soul Assassins. Then you had Liquid, you had the Alcoholics with the Liquid crew, and this is what birthed basically Alchemist, Madlib, and then you name it from there on out. Dilated Peoples, Defari, like all that sprouted from all of that. So,
I hope these kids paid attention tonight to get these hip hop gems that we're giving out.
Yes, definitely.
Who wasn't on your list tonight? Drake. Who wasn't on my list tonight? Drake.
And any little.
Any little. No, there were no littles on any list tonight.
No littles.
Honorable mention for not being on my list, Special Ed.
Wow.
No, I got it made. Nothing.
Solid Gold Bone. Yo, fucking, what's his name? Yo, shout outs to Reef. Reef was talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
There's no such shit as alligator souffle.
Yo, Reef had me, yo. I read that shit and I was crying.
Big ups to my man Reef, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Reef the Lost Cause, man.
When he wrote that shit, I started dying. I was like, that's funny.
I was in this deep YouTube hole the other night, and it was Special Ed performing I'm the Magnificent at probably 50 years old at like a birthday party.
Really?
And I was like, how far we've come.
Yo, you know what's crazy about Special Ed? You know he's actually like a millionaire now. Because he sued the cops. He sued the police.
Really?
Yeah, they broke into his house. The cops busted down his crib. Mistaken identity. Busted down the whole nine. And he said, you know what? You guys are all getting sued. And he won like got
a 100 Honda scooters.
Yeah, man. Special. Yeah, it's now you got and his dog with a solid gold bone. Yo, how crazy is this? How is Special Ed come up in conversation now? 3 days ago, I was zooming with my peoples from New York, and somebody brought up, "Yo, were you like offended when Special Ed said I'm not a Puerto Rican when I speak it so that you know?" And how funny is it that we went from that 3 days ago to Reef talking about alligator souffle yesterday, and then you just bringing up honorable mention and say Special Ed.
It's crazy.
That's hilarious.
The wonderful culture of hip hop.
Shout out to Special Ed.
Shout outs to Special Ed. Maybe he'll see this and come on the show with us.
Yeah, there you go. Hit up Spitter. And I would love to be on that show to be like,
oh, facts.
Let's break down I Got It Made, Special Ed.
Lyric for lyric. Let's break down I Got It Made.
And the first line could start controversy with him. So what did you mean by It's not a Puerto Rican, but I speak it so that you know.
We were wondering. Oh man.
Yo, after me, you need A1 now on this fucking show.
A1 has it's like pulling teeth
Bullshit.
to get this this guy on.
If we get A1 on here, I think people are gonna piss in their pants. A1 has a basket full of knowledge in music, and you know what? With A1, we need to start. What are the fucking worst hip hop albums ever put out? And he knows them shits. He knows them shits.
Just give me 10 albums. He's gonna start with MC Hammer.
No, he wouldn't even start with that. Cause he used to listen to Gangsta Nip and he knows all them albums, man. He listened to all of them shits.
He's a true connoisseur.
Dude, he has every album ever made, hands out. Him and Magnetic, they had the tape collection from hell. They had everything, but they bought everything. And I'm telling you, they had the whole No Limit collection. Even the shit you didn't want to hear, they had it. He swears by, I think it's, what's his name? Oh my God, there was this dude who looked like Snoop on the No Limit roster. And he's like, yo, that dude, that album was crazy. Like, yo, I'm telling you, A1 will tell you.
He got Silk the Shocker's little brother's album on there.
I'm telling you. He'll tell you. A1 will tell you albums that you never even thought existed, but they existed. He has the whole Rap-A-Lot collection. Like, I'm telling you, he has so much shit.
Listen, Jay Prince is like the Candyman. We can't mention that too many times. Fuck around, pop up on you.
We're not dissing him. We're just
we don't want no problems. We're just talking about Rap-A-Lot.
You know,
Players Club.
But Gangsta Nip. Yo, you want to talk about? Yo, I'm telling you, man. You will be astounded by what A knows, man. But A heard some albums, and you'd be like, "What?" A's the reason. Well, partly the reason why we got on. We started listening to E40 for a second, like.
And he sells records.
Yeah, I'm telling you. A is you need A. A's the next one because they got a lot of crazy knowledge with hip hop, and he's probably one of the dudes you'll ever. He definitely needs flowers too. A definitely needs flowers. So probably one of the beat makers ever from the Valley. So, I mean,
sitting on a bunch of heat.
Oh my God! Don't even start. Don't even start with what he's sitting on. I don't even want to know what he's sitting on. He needs to come out. Let's put him under some different type of moniker. Give him a mask or some shit. Tell him to stop dropping shit on SoundCloud. Let's go. Hey, what? We're gonna resurrect your fucking career. Let's do it.
Can we get a round of applause for A1?
Oh man.
I'm gonna pay these bills one last time, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
For all your vaping essential needs, go to Lehigh Vapor. It's on 822 Nazareth Pike. That's where I go for all my vaping essentials. Tell them TJ Central will take care of you. For all your CBD needs, go to Mom and Pop CBD Shop. It's 312 Town Center Boulevard over in Forks Township. You go tell them that TJ Central will take care of you. For all your tattoo needs, you can go see Eli at Famous Tattoo Works on Northampton Street in Easton. And for your legends and your gems, hit up Cap Cee because he's going to give you them. Cap, it's been a pleasure again, bro.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. And we're going to come back with part 4.
We got like 6 hours of content so far.
Because we can go on for days with this shit.
Yo, we should do a worst list next since you brought it up.
Then A has to be a part of that.
A has to be a part of it.
A has to be a part because A knows those albums, man. He has that shit. Esham. So like he got.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. He has it all.
Cap, I'm gonna shout out Nick Eckert to get your hats.
That's right, yo. Nick, I need my
Nick,
hat.
Nick, he needs that effing awesome snapback. You see it? Cap, I need that Basquiat crown in my life.
Yeah. I gotta find that dude. I think I have a mission tomorrow. I'll be in Easton tomorrow, people. I'm gonna be hanging.
He's gonna be in Easton.
I'm gonna be in Easton hanging out.
If you go see Nano, make sure you stop at Chow's to grab a sandwich, bro.
Damn, that's right. Damn.
It's right there.
Yeah, but I was in the mood for a gyro. My homie's the Greek meat guy.
Well, listen. You and I together don't turn down too many things. So you get a Greek meat gyro sandwich, and then you go to Chow's for a take-home hero.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Chrissy, listen. Hold on. Chrissy chiming in, bro. I've never seen you talk so long. Chrissy, me and Cap have 6 hours of unadulterated hip-hop footage.
Yes.
My back is cramped up. I need icy hot right now. I went through 4 wardrobe changes, 6 hair ties, and 7 bottles of water.
And I'm still the same.
Cat, my brother, many blessings to you. I hope you have a blessed night.
You too, brother. You too, man. Thanks for having me once again on Spittin' with Spitter. I love this show. And glad for everything you're doing, brother. And I'm telling you, man, we gotta do a part 4. And we gotta bring A on here. And it's on. We're all gonna now have to fucking
if you know A1,
yes.
go to his Facebook right now. And just tell him we need you on Spittin' with Spitter, and tell him his little brother TJ's been looking for him, and stop ducking.
Stop ducking.
Stop ducking. Cap, we out of here, bro. Have a great night.
Peace, y'all.